Wednesday's edition here, Culotta and the Prince vlog. Big news is Prince is back. How was Orlando?
It's a workout, man. You walk a lot, listen to a lot of kids screaming, wait in line a lot. It's fun, though.
Turkey leg.
You off to the beach tomorrow, right?
I'm headed out to sunshine. Well, hopefully it'll be sunshine. It's time to get away. Time to get away, enjoy the family, and last spring break for my son before he goes off to college.
Sounds like I'm up. All right, look, LSU last night.
Yes.
Big one on the road down at Zephyr Field, Wally Pontiff Jr. Classic. 8-6 winners over the Cajuns. Bregman, a single shy of the cycle.
Yeah, and again, we talk about it the last couple of weeks. LSU offensively, I think they were 2 spots below Arizona for the lead in the nation in batting average. So this team is offensively doing a lot of good things. And when you see Bregman one hit away, a single away from winning the not winning, but hitting for the cycle. Could take me a couple of days to get back into the vibe of the vlog. But yeah, one hit away from the cycle. It was a single. He had a home run, a triple, and a double. And I'm glad that we're seeing offense back in college baseball. Consider me a part of the team flat seams. I'm very excited to see that the home runs back in college baseball. But it's also leading to doubles and triples, which is also really good things.
Absolutely. Kevin, last week we saw you at LSU Pro Day. I know you were down at Tulane's Pro Day for Sean Donnelly and his workout. Let's talk about Lyell first. Just worked out on the field, but did weigh 20 pounds heavier than he did at the Combine a couple of weeks back in Indianapolis. What do you read into that? Was it mean anything?
Yeah, it just, the question marks on me, what have you been doing between the Combine and now that would cause you to gain 15 to 20 pounds? Is it because you weren't working hard or because, whatever it might be? But he carries the weight well. He looked good. He didn't look out of shape and sloppy. He didn't look out of shape during his workouts. He did nothing at the Combine, in my opinion, that would harm his draft status. First rounder for sure. The big question mark with him is he going to play tackle or guard at the next level? And it seems like there's a mix. There's half the teams think he can play tackle and should play tackle, but everybody agrees that he can play, and he's going to play. He's going to go in the first round.
Seeing you over at Traction, working with Sean Donnelly over at from Tulane, and it seems like that everybody in that building was seeing the progress that he was making, just from a physical aspect. But now it seems like everybody's starting to take notice on what happened last week down in New Orleans.
Yeah, Sean Donnelly had a great pro day. He was projected late rounder, late third day draft pick, or potential preferred free agent kind of guy. But he did everything he could to increase his draft stock. Had good workouts, good times on his agility drills, things like that. But what changed between the beginning of January and his workout day was his fluidity and his motion and his football skills. And I told him after his workout that he crushed his workout. And there's a couple of teams I know for a fact that I've talked to that are looking for him. They're looking for a starting right tackle, and they think he's a guy that can come in and fill that role. So that's a big plus for a kid that's, one's unheard of, and two, nobody gave a chance to being even a draft day kind of guy.
You give us great insight on the due diligence that teams put forward on draft picks, especially first and second round guys. How much do they look in depth to a guy like Donnelly, who you've worked with hands on? How much do you get calls about him and people seeking information about him?
Yeah, well, they'll ask him who he's been working with, and the benefit of working with a guy like myself or any number of pro guys is that the guys that understand the business. And so if a GM says, well, he's been working with Kevin White, well, we know he's getting taught by one of the better players that understands the game of football. But again, it just comes down to one team. It doesn't matter who he's worked with or how well of a workout he had. Does one team really like him enough to draft him? And that's what he did. He put himself in a position to be a draftable guy, possibly in the late second day, and somewhere maybe early third day of the draft.
Johnny Jones stopped by this morning, gave his reaction to Jordan Mickey. What did you think about Jones and where he stood with now another sophomore leaving early for the draft?
Yeah, I mean, certainly you'd like to see that you keep your talented, experienced guys around, but I think he also understood that this was a possibility heading into the season. Both of those guys had talked about it last year, potentially doing that. Right now, Johnny Jones is out. He's going to be spending a little bit of time the next couple of days up in Indianapolis, doing some due diligence, trying to work on filling that assistant coaching position now that Eric Musselman has taken the head coaching position at Nevada. But it's also a situation where when you lose those two guys and you're looking at filling out your recruiting class here, they're going to try in these next 2 weeks. April 15th is when the next signing period begins. They're going to do everything they can in the next 2 weeks to continue to bring in some players. And now it's not just about, hey, we want to bring in a guard or we want to bring something here. They're looking for some more front court players because of losing Martin and Mickey. I think that they got a couple of guys that they got an opportunity at. I'm sure we'll have some more names. It'll be a little more clarity here. But you got to think just how important it was to get that transfer of Craig Victor because of the loss of Martin and Mickey. I think that a guy like Epps can fill in the role of some of the things that Martin did. Maybe not to his level, but athletically he possesses some of the same skills. I think he can do that there. I think Victor's a guy that potentially could step in and do some of the things at that power forward position that you asked of Jordan Mickey. Maybe this is the opportunity with a more true power forward of Craig Victor to maybe get a little bit more playing time for a guy like Albert Robinson. So maybe a little bit more front court help to come in and add to what you've already got on this roster.
Pro day yesterday in Tallahassee. Jameis Winston, number one.
All indications are that he's number one. He's the best athlete in the draft. He's, all indications are he's going to go to Tampa. So be it. It's a great pick for them. If anything, he can sell tickets for him. He's been a Tallahassee kid, close to Tampa Bay. It's just now that the workouts are over with, now it becomes, what do you do between now and then? How professional are you going to be? Are the antics going to end? And I heard him say this morning that, just judge me by what I do. It's hard not to judge you on what you've already done. So, there's obstacles that he's created for himself that teams have to get over. But he'll be the overall number one draft pick.
Every Wednesday, Culotta and the Prince is the center of the week with Kevin Mawai. Prince is back. We're with you every Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Follow us on Twitter at 1045 ESPN.